Welcome back to the video series called How to Get People to Say Yes. This is episode 4. My name is Michael Stevenson. I'm the founder of Ethical Marketing Academy, where we teach heart-centered business owners how to get more people to say yes. Listen, if you're a small business owner, it absolutely sucks if you have a great product, service, or program, but no matter what you say, the other person still tells you no. And so that's what this video series is about, is how to make little changes to your language so that you can get more people to say yes to you. And so in this episode, episode 4, we're going to talk about a little language pattern that you can use that will keep rapport with people and keep communication open. See, most of the time, if somebody says something like, that's too expensive, your product is too expensive, we humans feel the need almost to argue with that, to oppose what it is the other person is saying. The problem with that is that when you oppose another person, they feel unheard, they feel like their opinion doesn't matter, you can lose rapport, and communication tends to shut down. So what we need is an elegant way to, no matter what the other person says, to give them opposite information or give them an opposite opinion, but without offending them, without shutting down communication. And so that's what this frame is all about. It's called the agreement frame. This comes from neurolinguistic programming. So when another person says it's too expensive, rather than arguing with them, or rather than saying, but it's really worth it, right? What we want to do is we want to avoid the word but, okay? The word but has a particular response when we say it. The response is, no matter what was said before, the word but invalidates everything that comes before it. So the example I always love to use, hopefully you've never done this yourself, honey, you look great today, but, right? Now, what is the response if you were to say that? It really doesn't matter what you say after that. What happens is now communication shuts down and the person goes, what do you mean, but, right? Honey, I love you, but, right? Clearly is not a good language pattern to use, but this is the kind of language pattern that people use in sales, right? So one of the rules is that unless you have advanced training and you know how to use but strategically, tactically, avoid the word but altogether. What we want to do is we want to use the word and instead of but, okay? And the way that the agreement frame works is when a person says something to you that you want to challenge, the first thing you do is you pace what they say. In other words, you match what they say. Now, this goes against all logic when it comes to sales. Normally, you would think if a person says your product's too expensive, you wouldn't want to say our product's too expensive. Well, the natural inclination is I want to argue with that and say that it's worth it, right? But what we're going to do is we're actually going to pace that. And then instead of using the word but, we're going to use the word and, okay? And then we're going to lead them, okay? And here's how it works. You can use one of 3 language patterns, and these are just 3 examples, so it could be more than 3. But the way that you're going to do it is you're going to say, I agree, and. You don't want to say I agree, but, because then they forget about the I agree part, and they start going in their mind to challenge what you're about to say, right? Most of the time, people are not listening to understand. They're listening to reply. They're listening to challenge. And so we want to keep that open, so we don't use the word but. So the first one is I agree, and. If the person says your product is too expensive, you say I agree, and then you explain why it's worth it, okay? The second language pattern you use is I appreciate that, and, right? This is a little bit better because sometimes people say, I don't want to say I don't want to agree that our product is too expensive, but I can appreciate that they think that. So you could say, I appreciate that, and the third pattern that you use is I respect that, and. Okay, so listen to the difference between this, right? If I use the word and I were to say, today I'm going to teach you about language and you're probably on the edge of your seat going, and what? And what? It opens a loop, right? Whereas when I say but, it kind of closes the language, closes the communication down. So again, the 3 patterns, I agree and, I respect and I appreciate and then you can say whatever it is that you want and validate that your product is worth it or whatever else that is, right? Now, if you like this, you are absolutely going to love our training called Influence to Profit. It's a 3-day training where we go in depth on how to change your language to get more people to say yes. It's all about ethical influence and persuasion. We don't teach any manipulation tactics, nothing slimy. Everything is ethical. And it's all about how to improve your communication so that people say yes to your product, service, or program, right? And hey, head on over to our website at ethicalmarketing.com. You can jump on our email list there right on the front page, and I will give you a ton of gifts just for joining our email list, full of value, and I know you'll love it. So again, that's ethicalmarketing.com. Be sure to hit that subscribe button as well, and look out for episode 5 coming soon.